So graduates, it is a pleasure and an honor to be with you, along with your administrators and professors who surround us, your families, to celebrate your achievements and graduation from the University of Tetovës. And I especially want to thank, and they're behind me, your rector, Yusuf Sinelli, and your vice rector, Volnet Ameti, Professor Henin Ferrati, who I met for the first time, and also Artina Camberi. Artina Camberi reached out to Joe and me now at least 5 years ago. And we want to thank everyone involved for asking Congressman Joe DioGuardi, who is the founding president of the Albanian American Civic League, and me, the Civic League's Balkan Affairs Advisor, and many members, or not many members, but some members are with us today. Thank you for making it possible for us to address you on the occasion of your graduation from what is now an internationally recognized university. That's your university. Congressman Joe DioGuardi and I have been asked over the past 25 years, think about this, to receive awards from universities, colleges, and non-governmental organizations. But we couldn't, because it has been essential for us to keep our focus on bringing an end to the conflict between Serbia and Kosovo in order to bring lasting peace and stability to the Western Balkans. But we made an exception when the University of Tetovës leaders visited us last year in New York City to explain why they wanted Joe DioGuardi and me to come to North Macedonia and to receive the Doctor Honoris Causa degree and to receive recognition for what we did to achieve the restoration, or to help achieve the restoration of the university in 1994, when it was burned down, and its recognition finally in 2004 as the first Albanian language higher education institution in Macedonia. We made an exception for your founders, your professors, and that is why you are special to us. Joe and I are proud of your legacy as members of the first university in the Albanian language to be established in Macedonia, and also of our participation in the process. I first want to, and you will recognize this when I say it, I first want to pay tribute to the late rector Fadil Suleimani, the progressive founder of your university, and notable professors like Abdullah Mehmeti and Murtazan Ismaili. I will never forget, by the way, the time that Joe and I spent on the grounds of the university with guns raised against us by Macedonian military, while OSCE vehicles observed but were not prepared to act. Fortunately, Rector Suleimani was successful in appealing for peace. Joe and I also need to recognize Arben Jafari, with whom we participated in 1996 to gain the release of these men from jail, and then work with them to achieve official recognition of the University of Tetovës. At my request, in July of 1996, a delegation led by Jafari came to Washington to join DioGuardi and me in discussing with members of Congress about increasing threats to the University of Tetovës and to hold a rally outside the United Nations with some members of our Congress in support of the university and its jailed founders. This marked the beginning of years of work that Joe and I, along with members of the board of the Albanian American Civic League, spent with leading congressional members in the US House of Representatives to achieve the recognition of the University of Tetovës. It also marks our years of work with Arben Jafari. I work with him on and off every week until his untimely death in 2012. If Jafari were alive today, he would be happy to know that our joint efforts are still very significant, not only for the countries in the Western Balkans, but also for the United States and all of Europe. Jafari would also be happy to know how far his efforts, members of your university administration and ours in the Albanian American Civic League, have advanced to resolve the crisis over ethnic Albanian rights in Macedonia. Now, today, we're now in 2025. Albanians in Macedonia are in a very different position than we were 30 years ago. Albanians in general and in the University of Tetovës have come a long way from the challenging times of the early 1990s when we were here. In the last 30 years, 20,000 Albanians have received the diplomas, a number that was hard to imagine at the time of the University of Tetovës opening. I hope, and I want to say this, please cherish this opening and keep your heads high. You have been highly educated at the University of Tetovës. I think you would agree. And so it's important that you not be passive going forward. Cherish what you have been able to achieve, but also take nothing for granted. Along with the faculty, you have the ability to build on what has been achieved. I call on each and every graduate of the University of Tetovës to carry with you the courage to dream big, make a difference in your community, and make North Macedonia a better place for everyone. Democracy, which is about freedom and equality for all, is an ideal that we all must work for. This is the time when I hope that all political parties will step up to the plate so that graduates do not need to flee, but instead to prosper in Northern Macedonia. Politicians of all political parties and all ethnic communities in Macedonia can work harder towards improving the lives of citizens so that highly educated Albanians, Macedonians, and other communities are not forced to leave the country in search of a decent job or a fairer society. Graduates, you do not need to be afraid of the future. You can play, and this is what's wonderful, you can play a major role in your country and in your choice of work. And the Albanian American Civic League is here to help open doors. Celebrate today what you've achieved so far, and remember that we believe in you, and we see in your bright future a brighter future for Albanians and all communities in North Macedonia. Congratulations, graduates. Faleminderit shumë.